Hey guys, welcome to Hope It Helps. My guest on the show today is Mr. Evaldas Vilius. Evaldas, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show. So, Evaldas, I actually found out about you a while ago, I think a year ago, through a mutual connection we have, Mr. Guillaume. Guillaume, shout out to you if you're listening to this. And I've been following your work for a while, and you guys have a video production agency, and you guys have worked with some huge brands and so on. And video, I wanted to have you on for a lot of reasons, but video for me personally is an area that I've lacked for sure. I have been doing video for a while, but I know it's not the quality. I know it's not the right way to do it. So I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot from you today, and I think everyone will learn as well. But before we get into everything, man, why don't you give all of us a little bit of background about yourself, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, okay. You catch me like that. Like I didn't prepare my introduction, but as you mentioned, Evaldas Vilius, but a lot of people know me or like in the media. I mean, online. I'm as Evan.
Evan, okay,
short
yeah.
name. Yeah, it's easier for everyone. So yeah, I'm running video production agency, and bread and butter is video content. That's what I'm kind of waking up and going sleep with.
Yeah.
And on the side, we also started kind of side project video series where we're interviewing business and startups, like established brands with the strong visuals.
Yeah.
So whoever asking me, what do you do? Like I'm separating in these two parts right now. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And so when we spoke last time, you said something that was really interesting about how episodic series, the stuff that you guys do now with Episode Up. So guys, check that out. They have some awesome guests on the show. That it's kind of like every brand nowadays is becoming its own like marketing like agency in a way. So could you tell us a little bit more why you decided to start creating the episodic series? What has your experience been with it, and why do you think nowadays it's becoming even more important?
Yeah. Well, to start with, why did I start that? So I'm in Dubai 6 years, so obviously we do video productions, and we sometimes, not sometimes, but our job is to be booked and go in locations and film all the kind of startups, sometimes small ones, sometimes big ones. And basically, I was working in the co-working space, Astrolabs.
Okay, yeah.
And then, they assigned me to film their startups that are like graduated. And, got investment, funded, went to the bigger offices, we scaled in the team, and we like visiting them, we're filming. And for me, it was so interesting. Like, oh, wow, I saw them on the left, on the right side. We're all in the shared space, working on our laptops. And let's say, next 6 months or next year, boom, we have like proper office, everything is decorated, football table, everything like this, and for me it's like, wow, I really would like to know what's happened, where was the, turning point. And basically I think that's the moment when like, I really would like to ask more questions, I came today to do my job, to do whatever interview or promo video, but I would like to ask my own personal questions, maybe, like I care, how do you scale marketing? How did you hire? What's happened? You were sitting together with me, boom, you scaled, So this is where idea came from. It took me a long time, 1 year or 1.5 to kind of get ready, can I do it? Can I stand in front of a camera and stuff, like a lot of kind of barriers. I think more mental ones.
For sure.
And like one day we finally managed to book first our kind of brand. And they're like, can come. We did filming, I stand up in front of a camera. Kind of was, in the beginning was shame, like I can't look at myself. But things started rolling, and now we had like 8 brands. We filmed 8 brands. We're looking to film more. And grow. So about the video series.
And it's funny that you were saying that how you felt at the beginning, like standing in front of a camera and stuff. I can tell you, bro. When I started the podcast, first before I even had the video aspect, it was all about just people are gonna hear my voice and like how I think about things and so on. So like I really resonate with that, and then when I switched to video, it added a whole nother layer, because now you're going to see me. I can't hide, you can see my face.
What t-shirt should I wear?
Exactly. But I think stuff like what you're doing is super important, because not only is it interesting from a business perspective for me, as the reason I do the podcast, kind of like the same reason you want to interview these brands, is you want to learn, right?
Yeah.
You want to learn, how did they do this? What's this like? what's the secrets? How should you maybe think about this kind of stuff? So when you're, I guess, thinking about what brands that you want to like have on the show, what's your thought process behind it? Is it just if you think they do something cool, or do you think this will maybe cater to an audience that you're looking to, like a target as well?
Yeah. So yeah, we have kind of as well strategy, what we wanted to film, what we want to interview, what kind of brands. Plus another thing, like we are bootstrapping ourselves, like we funding all this production time from our basically pocket. So we want to be picky as well.
Sure.
But in the end of the day, since it's a video and I want to do something a little bit different, let's say we have a lot of interviews, the podcast is one thing, but then it's like podcast and a video is like static one.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do is like come and visit in location. Like I'm asking the brands, are you going to let us in? Are you going to let us in the office? Are you going to let us in your warehouse or like manufacturing facilities?
Okay.
I want to come and I'm like, are you fine if I'm going to come to this expensive equipment and ask you a question like how much it costs? Tell me, or like whatever, So that's what we're trying to do, and maybe separate a little bit from the market. I'm saying to the brands, I want strong visuals. I want strong visuals. I want to walk with you, I want to literally go in the office and like ask, oh, that's a whiteboard. What are you drawing here? Is it like, I know you're doing like team KPIs or whatever, tell me so the audience can see as well. Because in the video production, or let's say in marketing and branding, it maybe now mindset is shifting, but everything is candid, like everybody want to look in the best way, like we do video production. Before we click recording, it's a 2 hours process, remove that chair, clean this,
really
fix the curtain, like do the makeup, like a lot of stuff, which is like sometimes like, yeah, but this is not what it is, in your daily office. Like we entirely change, but I want to like come naturally. Let's chill, let's relax. Go for we walked, filmed the interview and something fall down, some tools and everything, big noise. I'm like, nah, it's fine.
Leave
it. It's your worker, you guys working is still like, it's fine. Audience is gonna understand. They're busy. So this is what I'm looking into them. And now, of course, the story, the like as much as I can get natural story and maybe success or failure story. I think it's like it's not a secret, it's for you as well. You're inviting guests and you want them to be natural. You don't want them to be like pretend or fake. I'm rising one thing because I'm visiting brands. Like let's try not to advertise.
Okay.
Let's try not to tell we are the best. Let the audience understand like I don't know which market you're targeting or like how you look like. If somebody gonna be interested, if they're gonna go on the website and check, but let's not advertise, that like, we are the best in the market, and this is our product and this is the best. All of you need it, So we're trying to avoid that,
and I think you said something on when I was looking at your website about the episodic series that you're doing, that the goal of it is to kind of create more trust and an emotional connection with your audience or your customers. And so listening to you talk about, it's not about directly advertising. So it's not about me, like your recording's not about, we're the best and so on, but it's more about showing you, I saw what you guys do. You guys do some behind the scenes stuff, which I think is great, because that is the stuff that's interesting. That's the thing that I'm not going to see on an Instagram post or an Instagram, video. It's going to be super clean, super polished. Everyone's going to be kind of like what you said, dressed and done and whatever. So I think those kind of things you want to show, I guess, maybe the human side behind the brand. Does that sound kind of
exactly? Exactly. We're saying we're saying in Evamotion, we need to stand in front of a camera to show, let's say, our clients, to show audience what our personalities.
Exactly.
Like okay, we want a video production. We want a promo video. We want to let them know who gonna come. On the day, who gonna do that job, I don't know, behind the scenes or like just daily work from our office, like how, I don't know what kind of fun we're having, what values we have, are we gonna come dress up, are we chilled, are we come with a suit? Obviously different types of projects requires that,
of course.
But if it's fine on the Kite Beach shoot, and like I remember one of my clients, like it was a 3-day shoot for Mercedes, came full, with the pants, with everything, black, like media production person. And then when the client like, yo, it's so hot, he's like, yeah, jump on the shorts, you know, it's fine. I'm really?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next day, yeah, full hat, you know, shorts, sleeves. It's on the beach.
Yeah.
And the brand is fine, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we have event on the beach.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to try to represent. And
Yeah.
maybe one more thing to highlight. So I think it's really important now, brands or like whatever, freelancers, any professionals, you know, to show as well what's behind the scenes, you know, what behind the service or behind the product. Because like we as a humans as well, attaching not only to the service, but to, I don't know, to personality, to personality's values. Yeah.
Exactly. No, and that's actually, it's funny. That's a really good point. So what do you, so do you know, I'm sure you've heard of Gary Vee?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So he always, and it's kind of talking about what you just said. He always talks about, not when it comes to content creation, it's not about, first, he says quantity over quality, first of all. Obviously, it's not to say you should be bad quality, but consistency is more important than the lighting and everything looking good. But he says that don't try to create, try to document. And I think that's a very clear distinction, because even me, when I try to make some interesting videos on TikTok about like mental health and stuff like that, but I still find it a struggle, because I'm not personally, it's not my world, it's not what I'm comfortable with, but I'm trying to shift my perspective to document, but then my brain's like, why would everyone give a shit about this part? So it kind of sounds like that's kind of what the aim of this is, to document. This is how it actually is, not this flashy post that, you know, anyone can do and make.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think like from whatever you just said, you know, so the few points, end of the day, like it's hard, you know, you start thinking, you know, why should I do that? Who's looking at it? And I will tell you a funny fact, like from our experience, we do behind the scenes, we do some kind of marketing tips, you know, where we're standing in the front of camera, and now episode up, for example. So you launch the video on social media, whatever, YouTube, you know, and it's like kind of ghosting, you know, it's like 5 likes, you know, 2 shares, your mother and I don't know, somebody else commented, yes, go for it, you know, well done guys, and you're like, this is not what I need.
Yeah.
Either way, but then like after whatever, half year, 3 months, you're in the networking event and somebody coming like, oh, I saw what you do. Oh, really? Did you actually watch? Yeah, that was really great. And I'm like inside in my mind, why the hell you didn't even like, you know, why you didn't let me know that you watched that?
Yeah.
You know, so that's as well tricky thing when you're saying like, oh, who's gonna watch? I think, trust me, you just do yourself and then somebody gonna watch. Yeah.
I think that is, for any content creator, I think that's the challenge, is that it's kind of like, why should I do this? Is all the work I do gonna be worth it? Because I have those thoughts sometimes. You know what? For me, so the reason my podcast is a video is because I love watching podcasts more than I like listening.
Okay.
And I like seeing people's like facial expressions when they're telling a story, or, you know, they're having a laugh or whatever. I like to see that. It's like I'm sitting watching a show, not just listening to to an interview. So, but then I noticed that, for example, you mentioned YouTube, that like, I haven't posted on YouTube in a while, but that world is just, it's like, even though on Instagram, I'm like a small fish in a big pond, but at YouTube, I think I'm in like there's an ocean of trying to drive people to watch your content, because it's just, and everyone's content on YouTube is like high quality for the most part. If you have a YouTube show, like most of them, I'd say their content is the quality of it is pretty high, like the production and stuff.
Yeah, I think it depends. Yeah, like it depends, you know, what YouTube recommending you and what you see, what you subscribe. And then, of course, if you're watching high quality content, you're like, I'm not going to match that, you know, you start like blaming yourself. But what about YouTube? Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of content, a lot of like everybody kind of producing and stuff.
Yeah.
But since we start, because once we did Evamotion, well, we're still doing like, our job is to produce the content and give that content to the client, and you guys, all right, you have marketing managers, whatever, do your thing, and we don't know what's happening. Okay. So now only once we started this video series, episode up, that's where we start like looking into YouTube, you know, what's work, what we need to, you know, what we need to write, what kind of description, what kind of title, how does it work? So, for example, out of 8 videos, 1 video picked up so good that it's just driving all the channel. I mean, I don't know, some kind of algorithms picked up, the topic is nice, the engagement is good, and now for the 1.5 year, YouTube is just pushing that content. I mean, I don't know, in the scale, is it a lot or not, but weekly I'm getting 1,500 views.
That's
every
good.
week.
That's,
for that, and
that's
it's
good.
just like working.
That's good.
And other videos, it's just like not happening like that, and then it's like, interesting, why this video perform, other not. So it's like interesting part now. But so my wife Justina, she's now kind of working on YouTube. She's trying to figure out what works, what not. But end of the day, it's simple. If people are gonna engage, if people are gonna watch, gonna watch full episode, at least they're gonna comment or like, it's gonna perform. YouTube just gonna push it forward.
Yeah.
So we need to create content that is interesting.
You do indeed, and I think that's what everyone's trying to do. So I wanted to come on to like video production, like specifically. So I know that. So because I started doing video, I wanted to learn everything myself. So I was using a software for a while, very simple though. It's called Hit Film. It was free. And then recently I downloaded Adobe, the video editor, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, it's a different world. I can change colors. I can do all this. And it's the question I start thinking about is, so right now, as you know, we're recording through my phone, like the camera.
Yeah.
Does, in your opinion, when it comes to production, because I know cameras are very good now, and I think if you're technically skilled, it can come out great. But is it more important to have the right equipment to get good quality, or can you have something okay, like let's say a phone, not like a proper camera, but you're very good at editing, and that could make it, better? What do you think?
Yeah, so for sure, like you don't need to have a latest camera, most expensive equipment in order to produce good content. Let's say now we need to take a look, what is it good, what are you targeting? If it's like, if you're gonna watch on TV, TVC advertisement, obviously there's going to be high-end camera and everything, 60 seconds, that's, but at the end of the day, like, you need to think, okay, my strength or my goal is to produce a great story, and that's my kind of power, in the video content. And later on, maybe, once I develop or grow, I invest a little bit more and better in the quality. But at the end of the day, quality, of course, going to help. And some brands, they cannot afford to do a shit quality. Can we swear?
Yeah, of course. You can say whatever. You can say whatever you want, bro.
We cannot afford because they have established brand and everything. And for somebody who's starting, or either for some brands, if they're kind of, the marketing plan is to do natural look quality, natural look footage and everything, it's fine to do like basic, even with the phone. So that's one thing to think about it. Another thing, like when we're thinking about the cameras itself. So what is really, really important is lighting.
Yeah, that's what I've heard a lot.
Yeah. So for example, you can get really good quality video footage once you have a good light. For example, like when we were sitting here, I would come straight away. I would do a little bit changes, like, okay, that's the curtain. Let's open that curtain, let the light come in,
Yeah.
So that's one thing. For example, I would maybe not shoot in like in
this
front
way,
of
right?
the window, because it's overexposed. So it means we are in a little bit dark area.
That's true.
That's overexposed. When we are humans, when we're looking at the video, we're looking at the brightest part. So you always want to make the brightest part,
whatever the center of the thing is.
Let's say the people. Again, it depends.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe it's a horror movie, you want to make it dark. Yeah. But so some things, diffuse. I mean, you did a great job. You have a curtain, so it's diffuse. Like, and then some, like, if you want to bring better quality, you can bounce the light. So for example, you have a massive source of light from the window, you can put just a whiteboard, anything white. It would reflect light on you straight away. So it doesn't cost. So sometimes when we shoot, and let's say some projects are run and gun, and you don't have equipment, so you start looking, okay, let's bring actor, or model or influencer closer to the window. Okay, that's too harsh. Let's step back. Okay, that's a white wall. Let's go closer, because from that white wall, the light will reflect, and it will be such a nice light. So these things you can play around. And then the lights as well. Now these days lights are not expensive. You can just put it on the stand and and shine it. Yeah. So a lot of things you can play, and definitely you don't need a good camera. Phone will do the job.
Really?
Especially with the light. So the lighting, and then
And
audio.
Audio.
Audio is very important. Somebody even saying that in video production, they say like the audio is like 70% of the content quality.
Really?
Like, if you have visuals, good visuals, but the audio is crap,
Yeah.
like all the experience will be ruined.
That's true.
Yeah. So you need to think about those two things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need expensive equipment.
Okay.
You can do
There's
it
other,
yourself.
so there's other ways around it. You'd say, so lighting sounds like, if anything, lighting is, if you don't have much, to invest, figure out how to get the best lighting out of wherever you're shooting. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did in the past. We were kind of invited for events to talk about when these COVID things came, when like Zoom calls and everything, how to prepare setup. So we did all this training. Lift the laptop in the eye level. Don't have a Zoom call when it's like the camera
It's like looking
shoots from
up
the down. Yeah,
Mm.
it's not nice. It's not flattering. Lift it up. Then don't shoot in front of the window. Face at the window so you have all nice light. It's too harsh. Step back. Like of course if you have it control in the room, all these things, audio. You don't like maybe you don't need to use the laptop mic. Put the iPhone headphones and it has little microphone. That's it. That microphone is near you.
Yeah.
Straight away quality increase. So all these little things helps.
Yeah. So there's a lot. So guys, for anyone listening, there's a lot of little things you can do to really improve the quality of either your video content or your audio content. But it's funny that you said if the visuals are good, you guys talked about that the visuals are good, the audio is like the biggest challenge. And I've learned through my experience, if the video is bad, there's a lot I can do to make it okay. But if the audio, the original audio file is shit, I'm very limited in what I can do, which is crazy. You'd think that there's all these like platforms that you can put this in and sort it out.
I mean, end of the day, like this is how I think. If somebody who knows you, they know your brand, they know your personality, and the topic is really, really interesting. They wanna listen it. Yeah, they're gonna listen no matter what. Like. Because I just want to learn, this is information such a good that I like just no matter what, shit video or quality or audio, will listen. Yeah. And then, but imagine if somebody landed first time, they open your, let's say, podcast or your video, and first 15 seconds, like video quality is okay, but the audio is crap. They're like, like, I'm not sure if I want to carry on, So, it's always better to do good, good sure. way, proper way.
No, 100%, man. I totally agree. I saw one of the posts you made a few days ago about when it comes to creating content. You said start slow and find your niche. So when we're thinking of, I guess, a strategy in terms of like how, okay, let's say I found my niche, but now in terms of content you create and like how long should I be. Like, should it be a 2-month plan, a 3-month plan? Should I be posting daily? Should I be not? And is it important, I guess, I think one thing that maybe I don't do enough, and you probably have with your clients, is setting like KPIs. Like, okay, we want by this time to reach maybe a certain number of views or engagement or stuff like that. So could you tell us, like, from a strategy perspective, how should we be thinking about it when we're thinking about creating content?
Yeah. So let's say when you're referring to that video, the tip that I said, start slow, start with a niche, even if it's 20 views, like maybe then talk with your audience, and see if you can deliver value. If you're delivering value, and then you're going to start scaling to the bigger audience. Yeah. But how long you need to do it? Again, it's I think it's like motivational thing, and it's like mindset thing, like it's hard to do. Let's talk about now. You are one-man band and you want to start creating content, either on social media, on YouTube, whatever. It's like you need to understand, like think about it. For how long my motivation will last to create that content without return. When somebody, nobody gonna come. Oh my God, it's so amazing. Somebody gonna watch. Okay. Yeah. Pass. No like. No comment. No nothing. It's nice, but maybe I'm not that type of person who's liking every video. So for example, like what I'm saying, like try to think about the pilot. Okay, what we did with our video episodes, we said like, okay, let's do 5 videos as a pilot, and we're gonna stop and see like what's happening, what kind of engagement, like likes, views, comments, and everything. So yeah, and then you can like, are you gonna get motivated? Are you gonna get will be motivated to do that and carry on or not?
Yeah.
So yeah, prepare like, okay, I will try 10 videos, 10, I don't know, social posts or something, and I will see how it goes. Of course, I would say don't be disappointed if you're not gonna get these likes, shares, and everything.
Yeah.
Rather than meet person by person and ask, what do you think? You can start with the friends. What do you think? Of course, the best thing is somebody from outside your circle will like, oh really, that was nice. That was really good. I mean, if you find one person that he said it's nice, probably it will be nice for somebody else as well.
True. Yeah.
It's just like you didn't reach them.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like give yourself a target. Okay, I will try 10. No matter what, my goal is I will try 10, I will post, I will do all my best, and then I will stop and analyze, and then we'll decide what to do or no.
Yeah.
Should I carry on or no? So that's one thing. I mean, you ask a little bit some other questions. Can you remind me? So,
and just about, I guess, so I like what you said. So we're talking about strategy and like, and you said do a pilot, do a test run, see how it is, make it something that I think that will sustain your motivation. Because when you said that, I reminded me of myself. So in 2020, back when it was like COVID lockdowns, whatever.
Episode 16.
Something like that. I set myself a target because I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to set a goal every day for 30 days. I'm going to release a video. And I did it, and I got by the end, I was much more comfortable. But I did 32, I think. And then since then, I think I've done like 2.
Yeah.
And it's in 2 years. But so that's why when I heard you talk about motivation, like by the end of that, I was like, like I was burnt out. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was the most efficient probably way to do it. Like to be like, because I'm like in my mind, consistency.
Okay,
but how long can you run like that? You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, obviously, it's a good point. Yeah, like I think the problem as well, like when I'm running the business, I'm reading a lot of things. Like, oh, you need to do podcasts, you need to do video series, you need to stand up in front of the camera, you need to write the blogs, you need to work on social media. You're getting so many inputs.
Yeah.
And then you realize you like literally face the wall. Like, oh my God, I can't do that much. It's actually hard.
Yeah, it is.
So I think the focus is important, and speaking about the focus, it's better to focus on the thing that you believe or you are good at. And then again, I'm reflecting back to me, whatever these videos, my video episodes, performing or no, I'm so happy, after the episode.
Yeah.
I learned something, I'm motivated, I'm inspired. I mean, I'm talking with brand founders, established ones, and sometimes they're telling me such a kind of stories or like the future of their markets, the drones, 3D printing, the gaming as well.
Yeah,
it was like, what? People have business like organizing gaming events.
Yeah.
And you're like coming back home like, oh my God, I still can do so many things in this life. So I think, you need to find motivation, because like otherwise you said like you can overheat. So motivation and then these feedbacks that somebody noticed and said, oh, I learned something. Yeah. Some people wrote me like, oh my God, I want to start to like vertical farming myself. Your video motivated me and everything. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's good. That's what I'm trying to do.
Of course.
So I think if these points somebody would set in place, so then it would be easier to just carry on and go. I mean, today was 72, episode 72, from your podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you should love it, in order to do it. Like, so that works for you,
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, man, I love this. This is literally my favorite, to sit down and have a conversation like this with you and with like all the people I've had. I just want to learn. I do it for me first, and then for my audience second. I'm like, if I learn, there's probably someone out there who's gonna learn something too. I'm not like a special person, that's kind of how I think about it. And when you were talking about, you mentioned something about when you've interviewed some of the founders and how they were talking about the future, I guess, of their industries. You've been doing this now for, 10 years maybe? 10 years of video production,
So-
right?
so video
Evamotion has
production-
been going on for a while, right?
So Evamotion itself as a business is like in Dubai established as 3 years.
3 years. Oh,
but
okay.
like I'm in video like for like
For-
like around 10 years. I
Ten-
did animations and everything like, but
Okay.
in the content kind of,
Yeah.
video content.
So I was curious to ask you, because you've been in it for quite a while now. When you started, I guess, compared to now, over the last 10 years, what have you seen to be like the biggest change in video marketing? Was it purely technology? Is it that now like it's more important for brands to be literally facing, like you have to see like your face for me to start, like trusting you and getting that confidence and stuff? And I guess let's start with that, and then we'll move on to where you think it's gonna go.
Yeah, good thing. So like two things in my answer. So one thing is production. Comparing what was back in the days and now, it's so easy. I mean, every second person with a phone or kid after university or during university is kind of it was back in the days like my competitor,
Yeah.
Everybody can pick up camera, go outside, nice lighting, everything, produce amazing video, equipment is cheap. So that's changing, Back in the days, I was not in the market, let's say, when we're talking back in the days, with the big cameras.
Yeah.
When I started doing video production, we were already kind of with these, whoever knows, 5D, Canon 5D cameras. It's a photo. It looks like a photo camera. It does photos and it shoots the video.
Yeah.
So it usually was a kind of clash between old style kind of market professionals where we like massive cameras. Okay, this is video camera, it runs like it's massive, big battery and everything.
Yeah.
And new kids playing with these photo cameras, filming,
Yeah.
And then I remember I told to my colleague, oh my God, I wanna work and then stay in the market, so I'm not gonna become this dinosaur like these guys.
Yeah.
So adapt. But sometimes I feel I'm even late.
Yeah.
Like all these guys, young kids, like creating such a nice content with cheap equipment because it's cheap. So answer, this thing changed for sure. It's so easy. Anybody can. There is no barriers. Everybody can pick up the camera. And this topic is discussed so many times. I'm not telling you anything new.
Yeah.
Everybody is saying the same. And in terms of marketing, marketing, just last 2 years, my thing is the marketing from video content. So, but from that part, I would say, authenticity is a big thing. I would say everything changed. I mean, if I'm looking at the brands, let's say, like I'm following US brands and stuff, because most of the trends coming from there, the brands, the founders stepping in front of camera, like you can't understand, are they business founder, are they influencers? It merged because they stand in front of a camera, they talk with the audience, talk with the clients, and then like I'm using services, marketing services, video hosting, and I mean, like every second week, this founder step in front of camera, introducing the product, what they planning to do, and like it feels that I know him and I trust the product, like, and he's telling the stories. Oh, we pulled off investors, we decided not to get investors, because we're gonna control or something, or some brands, good news, we're gonna got investors, so we're gonna merge with Adobe, Premiere Pro. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool, and dude telling me in front of camera, a founder, back in the days was like, founder, it's like, who's this guy?
This magic.
So I think authenticity is like, and social media now behind the scenes, like natural kind of, I don't know, promotion or natural content.
Yeah. And I think the word you said is exactly what it is, which is authenticity.
Yeah.
Everyone right now is looking for that. That's why brands do either the video series like what you guys do, or they have their own podcast now, because you're trying to add another voice to not just like this toothpaste I'm selling you. I'm trying to add like another story, to make you relate to me, to make you understand it, to make you, maybe even if you've never heard of that, if you like the podcast, you might start liking my brand too. Yeah. So it's another way to like, pull you into that world for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what started with episode, episode up. And that's where we now talking with a lot of brands, like trying to sell the service,
Yeah.
You need to start generating a value.
Yeah.
First thing about, the content that produce the value for your audience. And then obviously give, take.
Yeah.
And then they like, okay, these guys talking, right, in my market, let's say,
Yeah.
I should check them, or one day once I will need that service or product, I will for sure go and check them rather, because I was listening to them. I was like, they telling the story, they telling decision, why we did toothpaste in blue color, not red and white or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But it then makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that now we spoke about it briefly, but we were talking about video production and everything we've talked about now, how easy it is to do. You can do it like from your phone, like especially young people nowadays, they're creating like all these TikTok stars and like Instagram and so on, and they do it with very little stuff. And I was starting to think about kind of like that world, and then stuff like what me and you do with like a video form of a podcast. So I think in the short video, like in Instagram, TikTok world, where it's quick, it's short, video quality isn't that crucial. But in the long form, it's much more important. What do you think? And I guess I know there's a place for each one, but how would you, I guess, if you're working, I came to you and like, Evaldas, I want to start doing these video podcasts, but I also want to start creating some content for that world as well. Yeah. How should I be thinking of it from a production standpoint?
I mean, end of the day, like obviously need to look in your capacity, what can you, can you invest in quality? Does it make sense? Do you need to invest in the quality from the beginning, or just better to start and creating, and then see how it goes, and then, improve that quality. So that's one mindset. Another thing, again, from these episodes, from the founders of the conversation, I really loved what they said, So, okay, now, it's okay, like on social media as well, like, oh, take the phone and shoot whatever, the quality is not important. But more people gonna create that content, like then you're gonna start compete with attention, so then you're like, okay, if I want to stand out, I need to improve a little bit, and then of course somebody as well is improving a little bit, then you're like, okay, I need to improve a lot, if I want to stand out, because that's my marketing strategy. So that's how they think. But I think one of them said, like, look, you compete now with Netflix, with everybody, with a high quality, with the magazines, with the nice illustrations for the attention. So again, like once you grow to that level and you want to compete in the market where it's big competition, you need to stand out with that quality. So hope it answers your question, kind of.
I get what you're saying, that it's not a necessity to have the quality is always going to help. That's no arguments there. If you can afford it, try to make it as best quality as you can. But I think the key thing that you said is it's not the most important thing, but you're gonna get kind of like that. That's kind of what I've realized is you do something for a while, kind of like I've been recording on my phone for a while now, and I've reached like a certain level. So now I'm like, okay, if I want to get to that next level, exactly, it's time. You need to add that, I think, high level of quality, and that's kind of where the difference is going to come from.
Example, you're gonna start feeling that there is a competition. I mean, we don't need to, you love what you do, maybe you're not even looking at competition, but like, okay, I want to grow, in terms, like maybe, get sponsors or something, some I want to like level up. So what are you going to do? Maybe you're going to put 3 cameras, you want to get close up of me, when I'm talking in the microphone, or maybe you want to get audio treatment for sound from sound engineer, where like you're going to clean all these bits, so it's going to be smooth kind of experience by listening to that. So this is where you're going to kind of start do the level up.
Exactly. I think when you're saying the 3 cameras thing, my mind was like, it's time. It's time, because all the video podcasts I watch, that's what they do. They have at least 2 or 3. They'll have like the main one here, one's facing you, one's facing me. But I can imagine editing that, like from a video perspective, because I've edited videos, I'm like, that will take you so long, because you have to keep cutting. You have to keep cutting here, cutting that way. So
you need to make a decision when
to cut and stuff. So I think that is the fact that I'm going to have to do that is putting me off a little bit, because I'm like, man, it's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah, but look, that's, at the end of the day, that's maybe not your job,
Yeah.
I mean, what does it mean level up? I mean, you're not going to extend hours in your day.
Yeah.
You know, like it's gonna take time, and then you're gonna justify, okay, the quality is better, but I don't know, my cost or team or crew is bigger. So then it's like, it becomes like a little business, you know.
Yeah.
Like why and who's doing that. So I mean, like as well, we're doing these episodes, and it's a free camera setup, you know. So but we have editor. He's like, after 8 episodes, he's like, the last episodes, he like already feel, you know, when to show close up, you know, it's something really important. And I'm gonna tell you a little secret, boom, close up on the person, you know, like keep it. Keep it. That's nice. Yeah. But that's our job, you know, that's our job to make those decisions. And that's why brands hiring us or somebody else. Who's, and your job is to do podcasts, you know, do podcasts, to find these topics, make those amazing notes, and then in the future let the other guys do the close-ups, free camera setup, lighting and everything.
No, that's true. I think
episode 230.
We will see
that. We will check.
I hope so. I think I've just been I think I'm stubborn, and I'm like, I'd like to. The way I see it, I would have never learned any of this if I didn't start podcasting. So I'm like, is it going to be the best? No, but like, I know, okay, at least now I can edit a video. I can edit audio. Like, I do everything. Yeah. You know, from guests to research to recording to producer, everything.
Hey, Evan. Yeah. Would you like to talk with me? You know, like.
Yeah, that's I do everything, man. But
by the way, your communication was really smooth. I'm like,
thank you, man.
This guy nailed it. Yeah,
like
straight away, boom, calendar invitation. Phone number.
We lock it down. Everyone's happy. Let's go.
I mean, 172.
Yeah.
It shows experience came with the numbers.
It's been a while, but it's been awesome as well. I just had a few more questions for you, Evan. One of them was, when it comes to video production, I wanted to ask you, what do you maybe some of the biggest challenges you still face today, and maybe some you had before that now aren't really a problem anymore?
As a business or as a
No, purely from a production perspective.
Biggest challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, as well, the biggest challenge.
Like, is it the client? Is it locations? Is it equipment? You know, what's
the clients and everything is the business part.
Yeah, of course.
Well, let's say if we talk only about video production challenges as a production company, this equipment is keep updating. New things are coming, you know, and then you need to make these decisions. Should I update it? Should I invest? You know, how I'm going to justify to my clients that, you know, my services cost now more. Why? Well, we're shooting 4K raw, slow motion, and we're planning to shoot 6K. That's, you know, why it's more expensive, like all these kind of things. Yeah. And then, you know, what's happening in the market, you know, and I can tell you, the new equipment really makes sense. I mean, it makes job easier. Yeah. Like we got new cameras and, you know, touch screens and everything, autofocus, and you're like, oh my God, it makes my job so easier. Yeah. You know, I'm enjoying now shooting this, whatever interview or conversation. And I'm like, okay, I'm healing myself, like justifying the expense.
Yeah, of course.
But obviously, like for the client as well, like, okay, like how I'm going to explain, you know, or maybe it's going to open opportunities, you know, we shoot 4K but your final is HD. So maybe I will be able to zoom, you know, and have wide shot and close up with only one camera. So how I'm going to integrate that in communication. Yeah. So that's the challenge, but I think it's like, I like technologies going forward. You need to catch up. Yeah. So that's one thing. Another thing, I don't know as well. Maybe it was the time when like everything, it became so easy to produce the content, you know. A lot of competition came in, you know, because it's super easy. Grab the camera, you know. And for some clients, they like, okay, maybe we don't need that quality, you know. And then they're like, well, you know, we're not working anymore with you. So that was the point as well. We're like, okay, we need to focus on the things that we are good. Yeah. That is complicated to do, but we now know, we have experience, you know. So those challenges were in the past, you know, and slowly we like shifting to like what are we basically as well discovering ourselves, you know, where we are good. Yeah. Maybe I would. And if we talk about business, oh my God, you know, bring the coffee. We're gonna start, you know, new podcast. Then.
Yeah, but let's on the something I maybe didn't consider was the keeping up with like the updated technology. I didn't think of that, and because I know that production equipment is expensive to buy. Like to have really like for the stuff that you guys make, I know it costs like money to have those specific lights and those cameras and stuff. It's not an easy. Like it needs to be worth the investment. Yes, it makes my job easier, but is it worth spending like another 10-20K like on this, on this item? But also what you talked about that it's it's all about as well, like thinking, how do we, wait, I lost my train of thought. What did you said? We talked about the updated equipment, and then what was the
equipment
other thing?
And the same equipment became cheaper, and new kind of competitors or new
yes.
roles came in, like social media and everything.
Yeah. And like, sorry. And as you were talking about like how, figuring out what you're good at as a production company, what are your expertise, and also justifying that cost to clients, I'm sure is not easy at all. But from a business perspective, you guys produce the content, but is it up to, do you guys, in terms of, do you come up with the story and all that, or do they have a story? And I come to you like, Evaldas, I have a story. This is the vision I want. And you guys have to kind of like structure how you're going to do that. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah. So it works both ways. Always.
Okay.
It's kind of a packages, It depends what client needs. And again, established brand with the marketing managers, with in-house designer, with PR team, they kind of copywriters in-house, they're like, hey, okay, we have this product or service, we know what we want, and that's our idea. We have a script, we are capable to produce the script, we have copywriters, we have even designs, and stuff. We're looking for somebody who can produce, or maybe as well advice. What do you think? Like, these are our ideas, bullet points, put all together, the idea, and then and we're like, okay, this is what should work, this is what will be smooth, this is where maybe we can, let's rise the, problem, then introduce your company, then we're going to explain, how we solve that problem, and then in the end, we're going to put call to action, we're supporting that. So that's one thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have like startups, like whatever, it can be few people, like small team, like, hey, we got investment, and we have this website, and we want to, like go into market.
Yeah.
What should we do?
Yeah.
And that's where we're like, okay, a lot of conversations, what do you like, or, what's the problem, what do you want to achieve? And then we're like, okay, we're selecting some examples, like, then we're doing this pre-production, where like...
Yeah, before you start shooting.
Supporting. Yeah. That's the idea, and that's the decision why we're going to do that. Like, if you confirm, if you're happy, tweaks and changes, storyboards or style frames, and then moving to the production. Yeah. So it's like 3 parts.
Yeah.
Pre-production, production, post-production, still kind of our job. And then now is like, well, marketing or advertising, you know, that's as well important. So most of the time, from our experience, we give the footage, and client took it. But now we're like, it depends the relationship with the client as well. We're like, okay, where should we do, where should we host? And then like, if they want the support, we're like, okay, trust me, footage repurpose, for example, make different versions.
Cut it up, snippets and stuff.
It's like, that's where we started these episodes. I mean, how many content we produce, like I have libraries now, I can keep posting, you can long version, 2 highlights, you can do audio, you can do that kind of podcast out of this episode, let's say, Then you have photos from the footage. Now we're shooting with the 4K cameras, our editor take these screenshots of the video to the Lightroom, enhancing the colors. I'm like, wow, that's a nice photo. Is this a photo or this is from the footage? No, this is from the footage. Okay, boom, 5 photos on LinkedIn performing. Amazing, you know? Then you can do, like my wife, Justina, she's like into marketing. She started doing this short bites, 10 seconds cut, 1 sentence, one, idea, like very strong one. Out of episode, easily 10 of them. On TikTok, boom, some of them performing really well, and then audiograms now for the podcast. Check the picture, put on picture, animated audio waves. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like you can, keep doing it. So yeah, some brands like, oh, what can we do? I'm like, well, if you ask, let us do that. So yeah, we're supporting both ways, but most of the time is just pure production.
Pure production. Yeah. No, and that makes a lot of sense. And listening to that last point you talked about, and I think like listening to how you explain the repurposing of content has made me like, I repurpose my content, but I definitely could do like with one episode, maybe I repurpose 2 or 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
But listening to you, I'm like, man, he's right. I have like hundreds of hours of content that I could do so much with. So I think a good point to remember is, yes, you record one piece of content, but what you can make from this to keep driving, people to your page, to that episode, to whatever, is endless.
Yeah. It's like, again, we keep talking, keep bringing, to this episode up, but that's where my experience now, where learning curve came to me, like, it's like, so we are a team, we like first episodes we recorded, we did highlight, that's it, and then, okay, how we can bring it, how we can advertise, and we start, cooking these contents, and, something works on TikTok, something works on LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, maybe photos, on maybe 1 minute, on YouTube, out of this podcast, transcribe, you have article, create a blog strategy, blog posting strategy, LinkedIn articles as well, they have, so, and we realize, like, so I'm saying some posts on TikTok, it skyrocket.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? 30,000? I mean, again, I don't know how much, what the numbers a lot for others, but for us was in the beginning, like, what?
Of course. Yeah.
Everything is like, again, ghosting like with 100 views, but some of them 30K. I'm like, how come?
Yeah, like, why? Yeah.
Why does it work? It's like a lot of comments. And obviously then from, let's say, TikTok account, it drives to YouTube,
exactly,
to the full episodes. And you see, okay, that last week, some subscription, rised up, like more subscribers. So yeah, I think, it's a journey, it's like, don't post everything everywhere. You just select, this sentence, this sentence or this joke, will go like, let's say on LinkedIn or like, I don't know, Reels. That's gonna work over here. And you're telling to the editors, I know, put that, cut it. He's like, yeah. So that's how it works. And you mentioned as well, you have a lot of content. It's just, I think just time management and how to create that strategy. Like, companies like us, we have a team.
There you go.
We are assigning, like who's like gonna look, who's gonna check it, who's gonna do the research on keywords and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I think listening to what you're talking about, like all the different ways you can use it and what you can use where and stuff, you're like, I totally agree with you. I think I'm reflecting now, like on my show and like my experience, I'm like, I agree with everything you said, but like from a time perspective to make all that, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I think that's where having a team who like is dedicated to do that can be super, super beneficial for sure.
Either team or either like yourself, try again, like we said, do pilot.
Yeah.
You record a podcast.
True.
And you say, okay, for next 5 podcasts, I will do 5.
The strategy, like some type of strategy.
Like, 5, whatever we call like these...
audiograms?
Audiograms, yeah. I'm going to do 5 audiograms.
Yeah.
It's like a fixed. I promise myself in front of the mirror,
Yeah.
And see how it works,
Yeah.
How it's not working. Should I do photos? Should I do just little bites, or something? Like, keep trying. Obviously, if you have a team, you do that, you do that. We're going to blast it. We'll see how it goes, And
exactly.
it was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. It's waste of time. Well, not waste of time, but at this point in our company level, we cannot afford to do these tasks.
Yeah, you need to be more efficient. It has to be more efficient. Yeah.
So,
no, that makes a lot of sense, man. And I think that's really, really good advice that I will definitely take into account.
Are we expecting more content from
you? You will. Yes, you will. You can call me out on it. You can message me, send me a message like, I'm not seeing anything. Call me out on it. I honestly,
that's good.
I would appreciate that.
We can have a chat as well. I'm happy to share, like we can brainstorm, what can we do?
How
we can bring a little bit
for sure,
more
man.
Content.
I would really appreciate that, man. Evaldas, man, this has been such a fun conversation, man. I just have 2 more questions for you. These are questions I ask all my guests.
Let's go.
So the first one is, looking back either at your personal life or your career, whatever the case might be, when I ask you, what are you most proud of for yourself? What would you say?
What I'm most proud?
Yeah.
I think that,
for you.
yeah, I have answered literally. Like video production, the projects when I do, and I feel that it creates value. For example, it was some projects when we filmed in the hospital, and you know, we like filming and we creating video explanation about complex operation, you know, for the specific market of the people with disabilities and everything.
Yeah.
It was some point that I almost cried during the shoot. I'm like, step out, went out. I'm like, oh my God, why? What's happening? You know, because
it's tough. It's tough stuff. Yeah.
In the situation that people are, and then like I came back home. I remember, I'm so happy. I mean, I'm like, I create something that somebody gonna find out, or you know, create awareness.
Awareness, yeah.
Yeah, and this content maybe gonna help for somebody. I'm like, I'm very happy. Yeah. So these things, like, I'm proud. And then another thing is like kind of innovations. Yeah, like when you go and shoot, you know, like we shot recently in Abu Dhabi Technology Institute, where they're creating a laser that can shoot to the moon, you know, and explore the surface.
Oh wow!
And this you meet professor, and he's like opening and like non-stop talking to you, and I'm like, it's like for me, it's like wow, it's like one thing, like I start realizing, you know, how much like. How rich is this region is. It's not about only Lamborghinis and gold.
Yeah.
You know, there is so many things happening, and that's why like it's interesting to me. I want to show to others, and that's what drives me.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's really awesome. I can relate to that. I can resonate with that a lot. I think when you kind of like with what I'm doing, with what you're doing, when you put out that work on a specific project or you have a specific episode about a topic that you get, just like you were saying earlier, that one person that messaged you like, that really helped me, whatever, that's like, you feel so fulfilled. And you're like, I've done something good.
These 3 working days?
Yeah.
Justified.
Yeah. 100%, man. And for my last question, Evaldas, what is the message you'd like everyone to take home with them today?
Oh, good question. Well, keep creating, keep exploring. Try to break the boundary between yourself and make that first step. Like one day you stepped and start your podcast, like me and my team stepped that, you know, first step and start creating episode up. I mean, it feels so good right now, so I'm encouraging you to try and just try. I think that's some really good advice, guys. Step out of that, take that first step, and you know, look, in our examples, we're both very happy with where we are right now and what we've done. So exactly. I think that's great advice that everyone can take. If you're not going to ask, you already have answer no. Yeah. I love this quote. Yeah. That's true. That's very true. Evaldas, man, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a great conversation. Where can people, if they want to work with you, connect with you, just let us know where we can find you. So, yeah, LinkedIn, Evaldas Vilius, or check YouTube channel, episode up. If you're into business, into regional business, check it out. Yeah, and you're going to find the links how to contact me. Message me. I'm always happy to help support. It's not only commercial on business, you know. Yeah. We can always network, support each other. Give, and then maybe one day I will take. Yeah. Honest and fair. I like it, man. I like it. Evaldas, thank you so much for coming on the show. Guys, if you want to connect with him, you know, LinkedIn, there's also, you can go to evamotion.ae if you want to check out their work. They've done some awesome stuff. And don't forget to follow the podcast and share with your friends and subscribe at hope.it.helps with 2 S's. And guys, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Guys, like, share. We need to know that you're watching, you know. Yes, we do. That little thing, you know, helps us to understand and justify our time. So it really does. So take his advice, take mine. Guys, thank you so much for listening. And as always, hope it helps. Peace. Peace out.